happened there? If memory serves me, it was a tackle by Scott Taylor, the number 4. Down goes Birch.
He was late, but
not nearly so
I don't think
severe.
there was any intention. Neither was the other one. He's quite right to have a go, young Birch on it, but there wasn't much in it. It's just a challenge. Great clearance there.
Yeah, it was. Terrific bit of defending there by Andy Bernal. Here's a corner then for Wolves. A very deep one. Emblen's up there. Lovell gets it away. Here's De Wolf. Looking at wide again. To Darren Ferguson. Taking corners on both sides. Taylor. And Jukes is away. Stopped by the linesman's flag.
Some players just go that little bit too early, Brian. So, gee, if he just waited, Michael Jukes, he probably would have got in. Very slow build-up here for Mums, isn't it? Very, very slow.
Meanwhile, in another battle at the top, Middlesbrough are leading Burnley by a goal to 0. Hendry the score. Straight at Kerr there by Neil Emblin. Jukes. Kerr. Back to Shaka Hislop. Nice little touch there. Ferguson playing it well to Emblem. Found a yard for himself there as well. Back again by Ferguson to De Wolf. Up to Rankin this time. But away go. Ready again. Stuart Lovell. Picking out Scott Taylor. Men are waiting at the far side. The flick on. Let it go!
What a wonderful goal. That was a wonderful goal.
Terrific header there. Beyond Stahl.
It's still the best route to go. Lovely cross, lovely header.
Now.
I think we'll have a game on now.
I think we've got a terrific game on our hands now.
What a lovely bit of play that was. And a lovely finish. Love it.
To turn it. Emblen's there available for him. Goodman was rushing into the box and Bernal got it away. As you say, Reading have picked up the pace beautifully, and whereas Wolves dominated completely the first 10 minutes. The battle now, if anything, has begun to swing the other way.
Certainly has.
Jilks making a good run down that left-hand side. Now, will he take on Jamie Smith? And he's still in possession. Quinn. Lovell. Taylor knocked off the ball by Kerr.
I think Wolves will do very well now to weather the storm, because they're clearly under the cosh. The last 10 or 15 minutes have been much the better side, Reading. The crowd behind them.
A free kick curled in towards Jimmy Quinn on the far side. Another corner.
You won't want to give Jimmy Quinn too many of those opportunities. You might want to score him now. He's a manager, or acting manager. Might get it right.
Well, he's been a very good servant to Northern Ireland. Close on 40 caps. He's been around a bit too, Jimmy Quinn, Swindon and Leicester and Bradford. West Ham, he had quite a good spell at West Ham. Bournemouth. Here's another cross coming in, this time an easy one for Mike Stowell.
I must say that the Reading lads are fighting for everything. They're probably trying to prove to everybody that they don't miss anybody going from there.
To Wolf. Watching Mark McGee, of course, who's left the club here for Leicester City. But I certainly hope the Reading fans won't forget the tremendous job that Mark did here for Reading. Here's Birch. Emblem. Back by Osborne, now for Kerr. To Wolf.
Certainly fired up, isn't he? Certainly having a go. When you think anybody that plays Wolves at the top of the table team in this league, you really want to show just how good you are.
The rain's still piling down. Certainly getting very slippery underfoot now.
And that's probably the reason that the Wolves fans aren't cheering, not because the team's drawn. They stood in the rain.
They stood in the rain. Plenty of them down from Wolverhampton, though.
Yes,
behind Mike Stowell's goal.
In case people at home are wondering why they don't sing. Sometimes they look a little bit ragged, Wolves, when they've gone from things. They're not really playing as calmly as scoring an early goal. To me, they sat back a little bit when they got the goal. They were probably as surprised as everybody out with ease in which the goal came. But Reading are very much fired up. Interesting, the boy Gooding decided to play himself right back. Did fool me a bit, I must confess. Not you, of course.
The only thing that's throwing me are these blooming numbers on these Reading shirts.
Yes.
I mean, when that goal went in, it could have been one of about 7 players.
You could have picked
just had
4.
a feeling it was. Yes. I just had a feeling it was Simon Osborne. I just hope I'm right.
That's why you're one of the best, see?
I mean, these are the worst numbers I have seen anywhere in the world in 25 years of commentating.
I must admit they are hard. I've not been commentating that long.
Double. Ferguson battling on. In goes Stuart Lovell. Nick Gooding. For Michael Gilks. All towards Jimmy Quinn, and as well that De Wolf got there. Now Goodman. Now he's got terrific pace, and he's trying to pick out Steve Bull, and it just came off Bernal.
What a touch that was. He was in, Bull.
Venus with the cross. Birch. Ferguson trying to get in. And 2 players in the end make sure he made no further progress.
That was a lovely bit of play. Lovely bit of play from Bull and Ferguson. Just a little bit of lack of pace there. Otherwise you'd have got in. Very dangerous in this position. Such a big lad.
Knocked away quite comfortably, though, by the Reading defence. Smith trying to plant it wide again for Darren Ferguson. It's not an easy ball for him. He's offside in any case. I think it was Paul Birch out there.
He just took the corner, the very poor corner kick. He's probably thinking how poor it was and trying to work out why it happened.
Gooding with the free kick for Reading. Quinn just flicking it on. Almost came for Lovell, but Paul Blades was there. Here's Mark Venus flicking it wide. Came for DeWolf. DeWolf again hitting it long, trying to get Goodman away this time. Denard just nicking in. Birch will take advantage of this though. Gets it to Steve Bull again. Wide for Rankin. Back for Smith. The ball played in early. A little touch by Goodman. Just wouldn't fall for him though. And Reading again get it away. Kerr hitting it long. Ferguson back to DeWolf. And now for Venus. 1-1 the score here at Elm Park. In again. Rankin might just get that on the far side. And gets it back for Smith to play another early ball in. Hit with some pace this time. Just eluded Emblem. And here come Reading once more. Osborne hitting it forward. They claim a handball by DeWolf. Yellow card.
I really think that was accidental. I don't think, I mean, he obviously meant to do it, but I don't think he actually meant to get his hand where he did.
Now, did he mean to do it, or was it accidental?
I don't think he really meant to hold the play up there. So the referee could let that go on.
He certainly meant to get that header in, and did with great power. Jilts. Touch from Osborne.
All those early crosses that Wolves get in, Brian, are causing lots and lots of problems. Because I think McPherson's really a natural centre-half. The other lad, the right back, Bernal, I don't think he's really doing well there, but he's not a central defender and able to cope with him. Bull is very, very good. That is Goodman in the air, both of them.
McPherson. Claim a handball. Referee was perfectly positioned, said no, it wasn't. Osborne hitting it long. Quinn going out there, but fancy the keeper will get there first. Gooding. It's Taylor.
He certainly likes to tackle anyway.
Mr. Taylor does. DeWolf with the throw again.
He'd frighten me anyway, him. And I'm not easily frightened.
Having played the ball on the far side, gets in again, just beats Goodman to it. Emblem now for Wolves. Bernal. Quinn. Jukes. Quinn's waiting in the middle. Lovell's in the middle too. There's Lovell. But again, a good defensive header from John DeWolf. Goodman coming back to help. Rankin on the far side. Get it back to Smith.
That was a marvellous header. It was there. It really was.
Kerr doing well. Finds Osborne. Very busy now in the middle of the field. Getting through a lot of work. This is Parkinson. Taylor. McPherson. Up to Quinn. Doing there.
Actually, it's ever so wet on that side of the field. Probably people watching aren't aware, but you can see where they've brushed the water off, but it's there, and it's ever so slippy.
Blades with the free kick for Wolves. Goodman with the header, came off the referee. Osborne. Quinn. Touch there by Osborne for Lovell. Knocking it wide for Quinn. They're playing well at the moment. But Gilks on the far side. Will he knock it back for Quinn? No, he's played it in towards Lovell. The header was on for him, and it was pushed away by the keeper, but the flag had gone up. They really pulled that Wolves defence apart there, and it was amazing the amount of space that Lovell then had from Gilks' cross here, but there was an offside. Just look at that. Just fractionally offside. It came off to Wolf in the end, pushed behind by Stahl, but the flag by then was up.
If he'd have crossed that ball with his left foot, Jukes, it would have been much
Oh,
more.
ball now. Oh. Let's have a look again at the Reading goal. The cross by Taylor.
I could watch that all day long. Superb. That's a great goal. So simple.
In a way. Parkinson making the break now. Hit long towards Jimmy Quinn. And it's 2-1 Reading. Made by that brilliant break down the right. And the faithful head of Jimmy Quinn makes it 2-1. Parkinson's cross.
He's been doing that for years. He got left with the little right back. The little boy Smith, he had no chance in the air against him, Brian. It was a bad mistake from the boy Emblem early on. That's what caused the problem.
I wonder also whether there wasn't a touch from the defender actually, as well as Quinn.
Yeah, there probably was, but I'm sure Jimmy Quinn deserves all the credit for that. Because that was a splendid goal. But I mean, they have deserved it. They've been the best side. They've worked the hardest. I've been disappointed with Wolves' work rate, to be honest.
Well, Wolves have work to do now after that brilliant start too.
I think the Reading lads are well fired up for this. I mean,
Well,
probably more ways than one. They've probably Mark McGee going and everything in the week. Everybody's just decided how to go, and it's very apparent here.
Smith. Kerr getting it clear. For the second time, it'll come all the way through to Lovell. Parkinson, who did so well for that second goal. Osborne, chased by the Wolf. We saw Wolves beaten, of course, a fortnight ago at Millwall.
He's actually around the shoulder, boy Osborne, at the moment.
And
Very, very well.
Wolves, in fact, now have lost 4 of their previous 6 games. Desperate to get the 3 points for this one. Can't go on leaking points like this and expect to win a championship. Just one going up directly, automatically from the Endsleigh First Division this season, remember. Osborne's cross. It came off the Wolf.
He's certainly fired up anyway, Osborne.
He's done really well.
Yep.
Good habits as a youngster at Crystal Palace, no doubt. Gilks on the ball for them now. Crossing again to Jimmy Quinn.
He's appealing handball, Jim. I think he's asking for a lot there. It was a great cross. Left-footed from the right. That is a great cross.
Kerr, good left foot on him. Ferguson. Venus. Stuart Lovell. And Birch gets a yellow card for kicking the ball away.
I just can't believe that one. And everybody knows now that's one thing you don't do. I know you can be smarter up here, but you just don't do it.
Gooding playing it down the line. Taylor to Wolf, getting it back to Stow. Just wide.
Oh, he would have got
From Mick Gooding.
job. He would have got the job if that had gone in. What an effort. Oh, I shouldn't think they'd want half time to come, Brian. I would think they'd want the game to carry on this. Reading have been terrific. Fought for everything. What a shot. Oh. 1 foot outside.
Bull getting it for Birch. Bull letting it go this time for Goodman. Knocked back again for Emblem. Bringing Smith into it. Down the line for Rankin. But again, Reading battling away well, and it's a battle that they're fighting well with a lot of skill. Quinn. Blades gets it back to De Wolf. Emblem first to... Blades first to get to that one, then Emblem. And now Smith into Goodman. Back to Rankin. Still Rankin. There's his cross. He can reach Bull though. De Wolf. Venus. A foul on Venus that time by Gooding. Ferguson with the free kick. Floating it towards Goodman. He might have been offside, or the flag had stayed down. It was far too long for Stuart Lovell in any case.
He certainly would have caught that.
Goodman. Gooding. Venus for Wolves. Birch. Straight to Mark Venus. Taylor gets sent away. We're into injury time, and obviously with the injury to Steve Froggatt, I guess we might get a good 5 minutes of that.
At least.
Tell you one thing as well, Theo, whoever does get the job here inherits a good footballing side with a terrific spirit in them, don't they, Reading?
It certainly does, and they've got very, very good habits. I mean, the people having to go at Mark McGee there, but I mean, obviously Mark McGee's done a lot to help this team and to get them where they are, and all credit to him and everybody there. But the lads have shown that they want to be. And as I said, when you play Wolves, you are fired up anyway. Wolves is traditional, wonderful club.
Lovell. Quinn trying to get Lovell in again.
I also think it's very hard, you know, Brian, to bring like the Wolves and Goodman into a team and blend them during the season. It's a very, very hard part of the job. You can see that Reading haven't changed, as you rightly said. The players have left it as it was. Certainly passed the ball around anyway.
Very well indeed. With
Yep.
And I mean, they could have been 2 or 3 down in the first 10 minutes. They were under such pressure, weren't they? But they pulled themselves, and they were 1 down, and pulled themselves around beautifully.
And they were the best side a little bit after that, without any doubt. He has lost a little bit of place, you know, Steve Buller. I'm sure that tendon, I've had a tendon injury myself years ago. It's very, very frightening, and you just feel it's going to go sometimes when you're going to move. I wasn't as quick as him, though, Brian. There's no doubt about that. In fact, I wouldn't even call him on the way back.
Ball chesting it down towards Goodman. Rankin tried to hit it on the turn, but Gilks was there to stop that. But a corner then for Wolverhampton.
I fancy this is the route that Wolves think they might score it again from.
Well, there are plenty of six-footers there. The Wolves,
Emblem,
Blades, Emblem, Bull himself, Goodman. Now needs a well-delivered corner. Ferguson doing it. But Hislop got amongst them all.
That was a marvellous tack. You say he was 6'6"?
6'6", so the record books say.
He certainly come out there.
It's a lad who was born in London, raised in Trinidad, and then studied in Washington, D.C. This goalkeeper.
That's a very good
Got a degree in mechanical engineering. And here's Gilks. That could and should have been goal number 3.
He'll be disappointed there. The lad Blades, well, when the Wolves challenged, Blades was playing him offside and clearly forgot about Venus.
And there are about 3 defenders here who are just delighted they didn't put it into their own net. As he whacked this one across the goal, they're all leaping around.
He was the one, Blades, who must have been the most worried there. That was an awful finish, Michael.
Goodman. Rather Birch. Birch limping badly now. Lovell offside. The game goes on. Mike Stow, the goalkeeper for Wolves, with the clearance. Up goes Goodman again. With McPherson. Given away that time by Osborne. Birch trying to find Bull with it. Quinn's had it. And played 4¼ minutes of time added on. It's been an excellent first half, though.
Terrific. As I said, Reading want it to end.
Lovell chasing it, but it'll beat him over the byline.
I'll tell you what, if Michael Gilks had put that one away, it would have been all over for him. That was a great opportunity to score. We'll regret that. I hope not to his cost and his team.
Rankin trying to wriggle clear. Talking about Michael Gilks, we were talking about him before the game, weren't we? And he's been here 10 years, and he's been a terrific servant to them, but his actual scoring record is not as impressive as one would have thought.
No.
He's not a great goal scorer.
No.
Over 5 minutes of time added on as Venus plays it forward again. Venus again. And again. But a foul there on the Wolverhampton player, so it's a free kick to the Wolves. Now can they snatch an equaliser in the last seconds of this first half? Here's Smith. Play for Emblem. Not wide for Rankin. Here's the cross coming in. The Reading defenders were lining up there to get that one away. It was Simon Osborne, in fact, who did make the clearance. Cross comes in again. Goodman knocking it on. Jamie Smith in there for Wolves. And again, Reading come away. Mick Gooding this time with a long clearance. And they're down by Lovell. Over 6 minutes of time added on now. for the injury, if you just joined us, to Steve Froggatt of Wolves, right at the start of the game.
That's it.
So there goes the half-time whistle. With Steve Bull having put Wolves ahead right at the start of the game. Osborne and Quinn in a terrific fight back by Reading. It's Reading 2, Wolves 1 at half-time here at Elm Park.
Welcome back. What a first half of football. The score, if you don't know, Reading 2, Wolves 1. Alan Mullery, breathtaking.
I'm not walking back to London. And it was brilliant. I mean, I thought the first 15 minutes they struggled slightly. They lost a little bit of pattern in the way they've been playing over the last sort of season and a half. But after the first 15 minutes, I mean, quality.
Well, that was Reading who was struggling, but it's because Wolves scored this goal within, what, a few minutes of the start?
Well, I mean, it was bad marking, literally, from Andy Bernal. He was more interested in seeing where Steve Ball was going than looking to see where the ball was coming from. Steve Ball leads him a bit of a dance. He drops to the far post, and he goes back. You can see Andy Bernal doesn't even know where the ball is. And Steve Ball gets half a yard on him in the box, and the ball's in the back of the net. I mean, especially for Bully. I mean, he's been scoring goals like that since he was in nappies.
Right. But Simon Osborne came back and a perfect equaliser for Reading, wasn't it?
Absolutely classic goal. It's the goal that all coaches look at, managers look at and say, that's what we've been working on all week in training. Super cross from Scott Taylor. And there is Simon Osborne, not a very big guy, plonks it in the far corner. A beautiful header. Great cross this. Lots of pace, not too much height. And there he is, Simon Osborne, little guy, far corner, great header. Classic football goal, that is.
Did Reading get back in because Wolves had sat back, or had they tactically managed to get in touch with Wolves again?
I think they you know, like, when you look at them, they really sort of girded their loins, if you can say that as much as you can, and really sort of got into it. I mean, Phil Parkinson here, I mean, attacks defenders brilliantly, and he's a defender. And there's Jimmy Quinn, far post. And when Jim gets those sort of chances, a great header from 12 yards, you know, a great run from Parkinson as well. But Jimmy Quinn above the defender, little right back, and it's in the net in the far post. I mean, Reading for me in the last half an hour have been absolutely classic. Their passing's been superb as well.
Well, there are also two other First Division fixtures this afternoon we'd like to remind you about. We'll have action from West Brom's game with Luton a little later. But let's catch up on the match at Turf Moor. It's Burnley against leaders Middlesbrough. Jim Beglin is with Rob Palmer.
Neil Coxley, former Villa player, to Brian Robson, he of Manchester United. Lovely ball through from Robson, and Robson creates a goal for John Hendry, and that was classic Robson. A very good finishing, it has to be said, from John Hendry. 1-0 to Middlesbrough.
Well, I think Brian Robson's just emphasised the real value he has for Middlesbrough. First of all, though, he was given acres of room to look up and pick out John Hendry. And the Burnley defence was caught napping because Hendry made a diagonal run from left to right, got behind them all, just had a little look to see the keeper coming out, was able to lift it above him, and that is a marvellous goal.
Burnley 0, Middlesbrough 1, John Hendry's 12th of the season. The other half-time, by the way, is West Bromwich Albion 1, Luton 0. But our live game this afternoon, of course, is Reading against Wolves. It's 2-1 at the moment. And join us for the second half after this break. Welcome back. We're moments away from the second half of Reading against Wolves. I noticed that the Reading crowd were singing, "Are you watching Mark McGee?" telling stuff.
He'll be watching. Oh, don't worry about that, because that's still his side. Nobody else has taken over yet. Mark McGee, that's still his team that are playing. He's had them for, what, 3 years? So he'll be watching the game today.
One word, what does Quinn and Gooding say to their team now and how they're going to play?
Nothing. They just go in there, have a cup of tea and say, let's go out and do exactly the same thing and play that.
Because they are fired up. They're playing on inspiration, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The biggest problem will come is if somebody gets injured and they need to make a change. But at the moment, stick to doing what you're doing.
Well, let's go straight back to Elm Park for the second half with Brian Moore.
Back here at Elm Park, they've made another substitution, Wolves. Lee Mills, the young striker, is on in place of Paul Birch, of course, who came on as a substitute in the first place for Steve Froggatt.
He had a bit of a knock there just before half-time, didn't he, Paul Birch? I would think that Graham's probably looking for a lot more from the team now.
Venus knocking it forward to Mills. again, this time to Goodman. Actually, he's changed things around quite a bit, so we must come to that in a moment. Emlyn. This is Osborne, but the whistle had gone. He's got Jamie Smith playing over at left back now. Blades playing here. More or less as a right back. Playing over here on the right-hand side, but I don't think very often I seem to remember has played at full-back for Wolves, hasn't he?
Yes, also plays in midfield, Rankin, a very handy boy. But you're right about the boy Smith.
He's away on the far side. Venus to Blades, getting it long towards Bull. McPherson's there.
I would think the reason for that, you know, Brian, is I don't think Blades and the Wolf have looked really compatible at all to me. And I think the reason is, I think the lad, the Wolves, just coming into the side and probably finds it very hard to adjust. Certainly Blades has with him anyway.
So Venus now is a central defender, having played full-back in the first half. Blades, who was a central defender, goes to right back. Jamie Smith, who was right back, goes to left back.
And I would think the big thing is, can Reading keep up the pace that they finished the game with? With a half-less rather.
There's no pain when you're winning.
It's a really good that one. I remember that one, Bright. No game without pain, I was told.
Long clearance there by Style. Up towards Bull. It goes to Goodman. There's a foul by Steve Bull. Just caught Bernal. Bernal claims with an elbow. He smacked him in the face at any rate. Down he goes. Free kick to Reading.
He certainly did.
De Wolf under this one. Quinn gets there. I thought he was going to get there first. Osborne just knocking it forward again. Lovell's offside. Or rather, it's Scott Taylor who's offside.
You can't tell in those numbers yet, can you? You'll have to get new numbers painted at Reading. They are awful, I must admit.
It's Stowell with the free kick. Goes Goodman. Here's Mills trying to turn his man. Rankin trying to get in there also, but Duke's got there first. A shot in the back on Lovell. And a goal kick. Reading, I must say, have been full of fire and aggression, but extraordinary. Before today, they scored only 10 times at home, remember, in 10 league games. Only Bristol City have a worse record in the first division of the Endsleigh League than that.
I was surprised at that when you give me those figures, to be honest. Certainly played good football. You'd imagine he would score goals.
Well, they've not won here since early October against Bristol City. Bernal just getting it back.
I think Graham Taylor's had a few harsh words at half-time. They're well fired up now, Wolves.
Lovell just nicked away there by Jimmy Quinn. Jerks is on this side. Kerr's made a break for him. But won't quite get there. Goal kick.
I'm always amazed, you know, when left wingers get the ball in that position, why they don't cross the ball. It amazes me why they don't just knock the ball in. They roll the ball down for the left back to do an even worse, from a worse position. I'm astounded at it. Certainly Michael Jerks had 2 or 3 opportunities to knock balls in his left foot. Surprised me.
Goodman chasing. Bernal gets it back. Might be a difficult one for his lot to deal with. Indeed it was, but he was supported here by Taylor and then by Gooding. They get it long and forward. Quinn chasing, but Venus will win this race and get it back. Osborne. Oof. Running straight into De Wolf. Free kick to Reading. I
always think these are very, very dangerous and very, very hard to defend against. left footer from the right side.
Knocking it in, and it's gone behind for the goal kick.
Petered out, didn't it? It looks to
Gary
me,
Geller there. Now he can bend a ball.
he can bend the spoon. I think Wolves are really going to go with Mills, Bull and Goodman at the front. They're really going to go route one. Because he's a big lad, Mills, isn't he?
He is a big fella.
And trying to unsettle Reading. They've got a bit of wind behind them as well.
There's Goodman. Ferguson trying to get in there. He might get Bull in here. Good save. And then Smith knocks it over. Terrific bit of goalkeeping though by Shaka Hislop. Bull looked a certainty there. I know one-on-one against ones aren't always as easy as they sometimes look. But you would have put a lot of money on Steve Bull scoring there, but he made ground very quickly indeed at Hislop.
That was a great save. I would have actually backed Steve Bull without any hesitation there. All left foot straight in that left-hand corner. Great save. He's done well. Very well.
Up goes Quinn, but DeWolf beats him in the air.
To be fair, he's won everything in the air, the Wolf. He doesn't look too confident on the ground at the moment, but certainly in the air he's
Snap on the back there. A yellow card for Mark Venus. There was a little snap from behind. That's the third yellow card for Wolves today. Birch, who's gone off, got one. DeWolf and Venus the other two. Ferguson gets it clear to Goodman. Still with Goodman. Knocked it towards Steve Bull. Mills is arriving! Another good save by Hislop. And that really was just as difficult as the first. He really had to adjust, and he's a big man, and he got down so quickly.
That was a great save again. Terrific. He's very, very agile for such a big fella. That was a good opportunity.
Taylor. The Wolves will get there. But Wolves will be encouraged, Theo, that they've made one or two chances now at the start of this second half.
Well, they made two of the best chances they made during the whole game. Apart from actually the one where the Bull scored a goal, and it wasn't really a chance. Just a great save.
Goodman played it in.
Good header.
Bull knocked it down, and Mills only half hit it, which made it, if anything, probably more difficult for the keeper to judge.
Very good. But they're certainly going that route, aren't they? They're going to hit it in there and have a scrap. And Reading, to be fair, have been pushed back a little bit just for the first few minutes of this half. It wasn't surprising to me because they were superb in the first half.
Touch on, but
He didn't jump, Jimmy. He was trying to hold Venus off.
Stahl.
The other thing to realise, Brian, is that Wolves now haven't really got an natural winger with losing Froggatt and Birch. So probably Graham Whiteley has gone that route.
Venus hitting it long.
So he's done well. Banal.
Oof. Misunderstanding there between those two Reading defenders. Can Wolves take advantage of that? No, it's Blades trying to get Rankin in. Okay. We saw Mark Venus get a yellow card just a moment ago. I think maybe in the first half we had a caption up that said Venus had got a yellow card, when in fact it was Paul Birch, just in case you felt that with the second yellow card he should have gone off. But Venus, in fact, in the first half didn't get one. Paul Birch did.
For kicking the ball away.
For kicking the ball away, as you say. The Wolf all over Jimmy Quinn there.
He's very experienced, Jimmy Quinn. He does that well. It's what we call pinning. He just pins you and stops you jumping. But the idea is not to get too tight on him, but he's a very, very experienced campaigner.
Jokes. Wolves get this away with Emblem. Here comes Goodman, being pursued by Bernal. In the end, it's a goal kick.
I don't think he scores as many goals as he should, the lad Goodman, for the amount of work he does. Very hard-working player. Good player at West Brom.
And in fact, this season, he'd scored only 3 at Sunderland before he came to Wolves for, was it 1.2 million?
You really buy him in the hope that his work is going to get him, or get you goals, or his team goals.
Rankin played in for Bull. Goodman trying to pick it up again, but Kerr will make the clearance for Reading, and it's a good one up to Jimmy Quinn. Nicely taken by him. Good skill, and Lovell was offside. Just below us there, it was an excellent piece of skill by Quinn. Took it beautifully on his chest and played it off first time. De Wolf with the free kick for Wolves. Hit towards Mills. Kerr gets it away. Venus up there with a header.
Very
Again,
good.
the flag was up for an offside.
Very good defending that. Realised that Jimmy Quinn was resting, and the Wolves just come up. Did it very, very well. They're a little bit under the cosh now, Reading. They haven't really been able to get out and show the spirit that they had early on. And Wolves, to be fair, have come into it a lot more. And probably this system will put a lot of pressure on the Reading defenders with the wind as well.
Knocked down, another very good one by Blaze there. Jukes playing it in. Venus will need to get there. De Wolf will need to get there, and does. Ah, fantastic shot there by Lovell. Came off the post. Quinn looking to get in shooting range. Kerr again. Good spell this for Reading. The fullback with a shot. Terrific shot there against the woodwork again for Reading. Jukes.
What a great cross.
Plays it in. Venus tries to get it away. De Wolf eventually does get it away. But then it's whacked back there by Lovell.
In the best Mark Hughes tradition. That was
the best Mark Hughes tradition, yes.
Yeah, terrific effort that.
Quinn again. Osborne playing it in towards Lovell. Could be getting into trouble here. And a shot just wide of the post there from Jimmy Quinn. Wolves are looking ragged. And suddenly Reading are again at their throats. After Wolves, just as they did in the first half, had so much of the early play. But Reading have tremendous spirit that goes with their skill.
I would have backed Jimmy Quinn to score now, to be fair. I'm sure he's disappointed with that.
Goodman with a header. Bull battling. And a free kick to Wolves. Bull being held by Andy Bernal. The Wolves gone forward.
You've had some thrills already, Brian.
It's been a super game in the Endsleigh First Division here. Ferguson playing it in. And it's just touched in there. Goodman may have got a touch, or it may have gone straight in, but it's 2-2.
I think that's gone in, you know, Brian. I think that's gone straight in. They're running to Goodman.
Well, here's Ferguson. They're running to Goodman.
Yes.
If he got a touch, it was the slimmest of touches. And it's 2-2.
Nearly scored at one end, Reading, and give one away at the other end. What a great game. I think he possibly did get just a hair or two on that one.
Well, if he did get a touch on it, it's his first goal since his transfer from Wolves. And we were saying a moment ago he doesn't score many, but that's a really important one.
Certainly is. Especially when at the other end, there's a shot like that hits the bar.
Goodman. Jukes. Jukes again. Cross comes in, a touch by Lovell.
That's what I love to see him do. I like to see Michael Jukes go down there, take the player on and get a crosser. You cannot beat it.
Let's have a look at the goal again. Is it Ferguson's goal? Let's see what the super slow motion says. Does it actually get a touch? I don't think it does, you know. If anything, it may just have glanced off a defender. It's glanced off a defender, and here's good. This might tell us.
Yes.
It might, in fact, have come off Jimmy Quinn.
He won't get the job.
The Wolf recovering well and turning away nicely from Osborne. 2-2 the score. Another little flare up here. De Wolf getting Ferguson out of the way with Stuart Lovell, who gets a yellow card.
I thought he reacted a little bit too hasty there, the lad Ferguson. He did challenge him. Easy challenged him, and felt it was wrong. Put his hands up, but Darren didn't take it.
And De Wolf did well as the skipper, getting his number 10 out of the way.
Very confident big man.
Up goes Goodman. All trying to get Dane into a scoring position. Mills won't get to it either. Well, I have to say that second Wolverhampton Wanderers goal, is it Ferguson's? Is it Goodman's? Is it an own goal by Jimmy Quinn?
Pick one of those three. It looks to me now, Brian, like as if it is Jimmy Quinn. Definitely does. The goalkeeper seemed lost, so it must have got a deflection from a Reading player.
Goodman's header.
He's certainly heading some balls, Goodman.
Taylor now for Reading. Oh, the Wolves in trouble. That's going to go in. Jokes who finishes it off, and Reading are 3-2 ahead.
What a good piece of refereeing. That is a very, very good piece of refereeing. It's clearly fouled by the Wolves. Let it go on. That is an absolutely splendid goal.
Shot. Jokes finishes it off.
I could score him from there. I'm sure you could as well. What a great game this is.
Well, I suppose.
It's better and better.
It's an easy one for Hislop.
That was a very, very good goal. The turn was terrific. The Wolves looked very, very ordinary on the floor. Excellent in the air.
So Reading in front again. Kerr playing it forward to Osborne. Knocks it back straight to Emblem. Goodman. No. Well, technically it's got to be Jokes' goal. Although Lovell won't be too happy about that. The ball, as you saw, clearly had not crossed the line when Jokes hammered it home. We really do have the mystery of whose goal here this afternoon. But what we do know is it's 3-2 Reading in a most thrilling game in this Endsleigh First Division today. Here come Reading again. Crossing again. De Wolf acrobatically getting that one away. Ball there by Ferguson, and a free kick it is to Reading.
It's amazing, isn't it? Reading have hit the post, gone down and scored once, and then they get a goal like that.
Free kick taken. And a corner given. McPherson's going forward for this one. Steve Ball has gone back, and they've left only Don Goodman forward now, Wolves. De Wolf just got ahead to that one. He seemed to hang in the air to get that one away when it looked to be falling for Jimmy Quinn. Bernal gets it back. Might be a bit of discomfort here for Hislop, but you wouldn't have thought so looking at that. Oh, suddenly they're in trouble again, Wolves, but to the rescue that time came Paul Blades. And now pushed back as Reading gain another corner. 20 minutes of the second half gone. Parkinson knocking it back. Osborne to Parkinson. Played into Lovell. Parkinson again. Bernal. And a Wolves throw.
That was just possession football. It never ended. It never went anywhere.
Goodman. Searching out Rankin. Facing 5 defeats in the last 7 games. 3-2 down here. Smith on the far side, a good cross hit by him, and a good save as Mills and Rankin came in. Third mark by Shaka Hislop. Big clubs have been said to be trailing him, and he's a tall goalkeeper who makes good use of his height.
And he makes good decisions. He makes the decisions to come, and he succeeds in achieving what he sets out to do, which is getting the ball. That was a very good save. Didn't handle it brilliant, but it was a good effort.
Quinn to Jukes. And in the end, it was Venus who got it away. 2 Reading defenders going for that one. Bernal and McPherson. Here's Goodman. Time by Andy Bernal. Lovell. Taylor out of play. Wolves throw. Halfway through the second half now.
We have spoken a bit about the spirit, but there is some spirit in this Reading team, isn't it? It really is. And certainly won't lay down.
Long ball played forward. Mills trying to get onto this one. Here's Michael Jukes. He does go a bit, doesn't he?
Certainly does.
The good news about Steve Froggatt, incidentally, we understand there's not a break from the hospital. It's just severely sprained.
Oh, good. That is good news.
Jamie Smith making the break on the far side now for Wolves. Ferguson. Playing it down the line. Out comes Stahl. Back by Jukes. Oh. Hislop in a bit of trouble there as Goodman closed in on him. He's played it now for Rankin. Rankin's cross. And Reading lining up to get it away.
He's still injured, the boy Kerr.
Kerr is still injured.
Yeah.
There he is. Always when you injure, the ball comes to you. And Kerr's into the trouble. Well, let's get our breath back for a moment or two, Theo. It's a terrific game, isn't it?
It really is. And obviously both of the sides are contributing to it, but some of the goalmouth incidents have been absolutely first class. And the finishing, if it's been anything, it's been superb, hasn't it? No doubt about it.
And in the meantime, at the Middlesbrough game, they are now 2 up on Burnley. Hendry has scored a second one.
Which will add more and more pressure to Wolves, of course.
Well, of course, if Wolves had won and Middlesbrough had lost, Wolves would have gone back to top tonight. Now the gap between Middlesbrough and Wolves will open up. And remember, only 1 go up this year from the Endsleigh First Division. Automatically, that is, of course.
I think that's why it's so competitive, isn't it? No more there, Keith McPherson.
Emblem.
He's attempting another route there, Jim, coming behind the wall, trying to foul.
It's not going to be easy for you to name the man of the match a bit later on, is it?
Well, it's getting harder by the minute, especially as I can't tell their numbers. If I did 25 years, and I might be as good as you at getting the numbers, eh?
And now with a header. Oh, here's Lovell. Smith. I thought for a moment that was coming to ball. Emblen's getting in there, but in the end it goes for a corner. Reading not happy with that.
It was clearly close.
So Darren Ferguson with the corner. John the Wolf up there. He wants to look at this ball. But it was Goodman's header. Well handled though by the keeper again.
That's a very, very good position. People watching won't appreciate what a good position he picked that ball up from. Look, just stood there because it's been so big. He's able to take those positions, Brian, and not be in trouble. Handling very, very good.
Blades with a header. Quinn just knocking it back. Here's Goodman. No.
If you're going to slow us down this game, the players have to take a breath. They need it. It's been terrific pace.
Hit forward again, route one, but it goes straight through to Hislop. Well, the chairman on the left there in the spectacles, John Majeski. Must be delighted with the spirit that's remained in this side. After the departure of Mark McGee, the manager to Leicester City. Ferguson, but Quinn gets it back again. I tell you, Osborne's got through some work this afternoon in that midfield, hasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly has. He's done very, very well. Worked really hard. So has the other lad, Bernal. I thought he's done very well at the back. As I said, he's a right back. I've only ever seen him play right back. He's done very well in there.
Lovell. Osborne's pass that time, only going straight to Venus. Foul on Ferguson. And it's Parkinson who's going into the book.
He's surprised, but he has challenged from behind. And it is now considered a foul.
Free kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Time beginning to come a precious commodity for them. Something like 15.5 minutes left. There's the free kick up towards Lee Mills. Came away from the defender for the corner.
They are a little bit vulnerable there. Keith McPherson, not very big, just at the top of his head with that ball.
Ferguson again coming across to take it.
I think Will's best chance here, Brian, is in these areas. Also,
The Wolf at the near post again. Oh, what a poor corner. Smith coming across here to chase it and get it back to Stahl. He's got Venus available on that far side. Stahl's picked him up. Hit long again. McPherson gets it clear. Taylor. Gilks has made a little darting run. Here's Gilks. Taylor's continued his run. And a corner given now to Reading. Gilks. The Wolf needed to get that header in. Thought Quinn would get there just before him. Rankin makes a nice little touch here. And then clearly obstructed by Bernal, but he goes on. He's got Bull in the middle, he's got Goodman in the middle, and Goodman couldn't quite get to it, and Reading get that one away.
That was a very good break.
It was a terrific break, not only by Rankin, but Bull and Goodman had made such efforts themselves to get up there alongside him. For Wolves yet, you know.
No, there's certainly potential goals with those three players at the front.
Quinn playing it for Lovell, losing out. Ferguson for Wolves. That's hit too close to Hislop.
I don't think Darren thinks you're going to beat him, is he, from there? That's all.
Play by the Wolves. The chase is on with Mills. He's got Goodman waiting in the middle for him, but that's no good for Don Goodman.
That was a very, very poor cross. He needed to take that more and in fact get a bit of an angle on it. Steve Bull didn't in fact make it at all. Didn't get in there. That's what I think with that injury, you know. I do think as the game goes on, he possibly loses a little bit of appetite for work because of that injury, because he is a hard-working boy.
The Wolf. And De Wolf again. Goodman. Picked up nicely there by Ferguson. A lovely ball by Ferguson, and Bull couldn't quite get on the end of it. Again, terrific bit of goalkeeping by Hislop. The line was up, the flag was up when the linesman for offside. But how swiftly again Shaka Hislop was out of his goal.
He certainly attacks the ball. I think a Reading lad's been booked there as well, Bernal, during that little thing. The referee just booked him for checking Goodman. Scott Taylor fallen, but the flag again was up. Endsleigh Mills. Lovell, look at the break by Gilks. Oh! Well, that's a foul by Blades. It's a free kick. No action from the referee. Foul no more. He was late.
Obviously, yes, I agree.
Which wasn't a surprise, the pace that Gilks was going.
Now we got Quinn. And we have Osborne behind this. We've got 5 in the Wolverhampton Wanderers wall, and a goal here would just about clinch the thing for sure for Reading. Jimmy Quinn, driven straight at the keeper.
It's a finish that, but it wasn't really what I call a well-struck ball.
Up goes Bull. Knocks it down for Rankin. Goodman's up there. Mills is up there. Bull is in there too. And it won't reach him because McPherson gets it clear this time for Reading. Back to De Wolf. Hit long towards towards Don Goodman. Up again so well. Bull tries to get in there, couldn't readjust himself properly.
I think Emblem's just got a cut there.
Some signs of movement on the Reading bench.
I wouldn't think that they'd want to change much.
Uwe Hartenberger, a German, 6-footer, is a striker. Let's have a quick word with Matt Lorenzo down there on the touchline.
Nail-biting times these for the Reading bench. It's an unorthodox bench, as you might imagine, Brian. The man in charge with deciding who comes on and who goes off is Dave Armstrong, the former Southampton player, the bald gentleman on that bench, and he's normally the club's community officer, but today rather a promotion for him.
Here's Jokes, there's the cross, knocked away by Jamie Smith.
He started to cause problems, Jokes, and there's no doubt about it. When he gets down there, it's exciting now. I love that. Just gets it in there. It's so hard to deal with.
Thanks for the report, Matt. Certainly is an unorthodox bench at Reading. Here's the corner, though. That's a more orthodox-looking one. Knocked away again. Up to Goodman. De Wolf. Then Rankin up there. Turned his man well. Mills is up as well, but there's a lot of work for the two of them to do. And in the end, they get a corner out of it.
He's done well there, Gooding, you know. I mean, I would never have dreamed that he would have played there. And I've seen him play just off the back four, but I wouldn't have dreamed he'd play right back, and he's done very well. Some of the Reading players have done outstanding, really. That's why my job is hard.
Goodman with a header. And Hislop is flying across his goal to put it wide. He's had an excellent game.
He probably think he should have held that.
Ferguson again with a corner. All the Wolves' big men are forward, including Don Goodman, just over the top that time.
I'll tell you, that was a splendid header. He done superb there. Direction wasn't what he wanted, but what a good header. He's not all that big, you know, but he really gets up. Look.
Terrific leap, hasn't he?
Yep. Always liked him.
Let's have a look at the super slow motion here. Oh, my goodness, yes. Out jumps to Wolf, in fact.
He's always been a very good header of the ball.
And the referee indicating to the goalkeeper that he's taking time off. If he takes too much time getting these free kicks underway. Emblem, and now Ferguson. Venus gets it forward. Mills knocks it wide for Ferguson. Hits it first time. Wide again for Smith. It's a free kick. Suddenly yellow card.
There's been lots of good individual battles, Brian, hasn't there? Lots of very good battles all over the field. It's been a lucky there, the lads, man. That was a 4.
So we've had 7 yellow cards now. And Wolves get a free kick.
And I think these are all dangerous moments.
Can they get a goal? The free kick's floated in. Bull! It's been an offside. Well, it was a dangerous game because Wolves had 2 players, Mills and Bull, beyond the last defender. They're going to make a substitution now. They're taking off, I think, Stuart Lovell. Uwe Hartenberger, the Germans, coming on. He's played in the Bundesliga.
Certainly happy with him, the crowd.
With Erdingen. Uwe gets an ovation from this big crowd here at Reading today. The 3rd largest of the season. Ferguson playing it in. Up to Quinn, and now to Jukes. He'll really run them. He's got Rankin after him, but Jukes has outstripped him. He's playing the ball into space there for Hartenberger to come in, but he couldn't quite make up that amount of distance. And Wolves come back looking for that equalising goal. Poor ball played in. Emblem again.
Wolves certainly haven't given it up, have they? They're really having a go now. If anything, I think they're getting a little bit stronger. The runs of Michael Jukes have caused them a few problems, but they've defended very well against those three very good forward players that Wolves have thrown together.
Ball, little touch. Free kick to Wolves.
Ferguson do it again.
Here's Ferguson again. Loaded in there towards Blades. Good defence that time by Dylan Kerr. Oh, not such a good clearance there. Straight to Rankin for Wolves. Playing it in again now for Blades. Back for the Wolves. Played in again. Knocked away once again by Jimmy Quinn, right back there helping out. Moments this for Reading. Can they hold on to this 3-2 lead? The Wolves, can they get, must be a really valuable point now. The Wolf playing it in again. Emblen's in there, but he's beaten in the air. And it's Simon Osborne who gets it away. McPherson. And the Wolf will now get this back.
There's a few tired old legs out there now. There's a few legs not moving quite so quick.
Jilks up towards Quinn. Rankin. And Blades to Venus. To Hartenberger, the German. Germany has simply beaten Albania in the European Championship qualifier today. Jürgen Klinsmann, one of the scorers. And as soon as the ball goes out of play, we'll talk to Theo about man of the match. This is Dylan Kerr, knocking it back to Mick Gooding. Dangerous there, but Parkinson got away with it, knocked it forward. Okay, let's talk about man of the match very quickly, Theo. Who do you go for?
I'm going to go for the keeper, the Reading keeper, Hislop.
Shaka Hislop.
Yep.
The Reading keeper.
And the reason is simple. I just felt that he saved when Steve Bull was through just after the beginning of the second half was terrific. And then he made another one just after that. The ball was.
Well, here's Hartenberger now, with Quinn available for him. And Jukes coming up fast. And here's a possibility and a good save. He's there. It's 4-2. There's no coming back for Wolves now as Michael Jukes makes it Reading 4, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. A week of uncertainty for Reading is going to end on a Sunday full of smiles. As Quinn plays that ball in superbly. Great work by Stow, but very persistent play by Michael Jukes. 4-2 the score.
He's had a great second half, hasn't he, Michael Jukes? There's no doubt about it. It's a great ball. Lovely ball. Good save. And a good finish. Well,
all for Wolves. Smith for Wolves on the far side. Goodman playing it in. An afternoon that has started really full of such promise for Wolverhampton. Their crowds are drifting away. The Wolverhampton fans are on their way out. seats behind that goal, and the Reading crowd are taunting them with cheerio, cheerio. They're swarming out now. And it's really turning out to be a really miserable afternoon for Wolverhampton, not only beaten here, but losing Steve Froggatt and losing race in the race for the promotion to the Endsleigh, and a lot of work ahead now for Graham Taylor and his team.
They haven't really killed off the spirit of Reading, have they, really? That's really been the thing. I feel that Reading, even when they haven't had the game, when Wolves have had little spells in the game, Reading have always stuck at it, always believed that they could get a goal, as was proved there with the Jokes. And the instant when the lad hit the bar, level that with the post, that was terrific. And they've come back from that. Can Wolves score from this?
Well, will Wolves score with this? It's Mark Venus lining up a left foot shot. John de Wolf looks as though he might want a bit of it. It's de Wolf. It cannons off the defender. But there's the final whistle. A triumph for spirit and skill of Reading, who looked as though they might be swamped early on by Wolves. When Steve Bull put them ahead, Goodman got another one for Wolves, but then Osborne and Quinn and Gilks, who just tapped over the shot from Stuart Lovell, and then Gilks for the last one. A thoroughly entertaining game of football from the First Division here, and Michael Gilks really epitomising it all with that winner right at the end for Reading, and the man of the match, the Reading goalkeeper, Shaka Hislop. Final score, Reading 4, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2.
Welcome back. The final score then, Reading 4, Wolves 2. One of the heroes, of course, Jimmy Quinn, and also one of the two caretaker player managers in charge at the moment. Let's find out what his reaction is on the game with Matthew Lorenzo.
Oh no, I couldn't have asked any more off the lads. Obviously I'm a part of it, but we defended tremendous today. I mean, I scored 2 goals, I've given an own goal away, but we kept battling. Even when it went to 2-2, we kept battling, and we knew we'd get something out of the game. Little Simon Osborne there's hit a triple shot, hit the post. We just had a good feeling about the game before it, and it's worked out that way.
Would it be fair to say that the lads were a little bit fired up for this one?
Oh, certainly. I mean, it's very difficult when your manager just, you know, ups and leaves you, and obviously me and Mickey's been put in charge, and we try to do our best, you know, to keep it the same, play the same football, and as you've seen today, we're not a bad side.
Congratulations, Jimmy.
I think he's a very happy man, isn't he, Alan Mullery?
I would think he'd be delighted, to be honest, but I don't think he's going to get the manager's job.
No. And you wouldn't want him to, either?
No, I would think, you know, I mean, it's been a wonderful game for them today, and they all played so well, but I think, that, you know, don't get disillusioned. They need a manager, and it shouldn't be 2 senior players that have that problem every week.
Well, perhaps the best thing about that, because, you know, you've got your 2 player managers out there, and they can't take control if things are starting to get a bit dodgy, and they had a lot to do, didn't they? Because Wolves came back, here's the equaliser. Wasn't sure to start with. Who scored this?
Yeah, you can see the reaction from the goalkeeper. There's been some deviation, whether it was Goodman, whether it was Quinn, because the goalkeeper goes one way and then has to come back again. And he's too good a goalkeeper to make a bad mistake. It's only when you get to a situation now behind the goal that you can see Jimmy Quinn gets a slight touch. I mean, it would have been a good centre-forward's header, you know, in the opposite goal. But it deviated and off it went, and Shaka didn't have a chance. But it brought Wolves back into the game.
And old Jimmy did put his hand up to that in that interview we just
saw.
Yeah,
he did a visit, so literally, he's got 2
But Reading could have lost it there, couldn't they?
Quite easily. No problems at all. Wolves started the second half very, very well. I mean, Graham Taylor had given 1 or 2 rollickings. You could see that in the dressing room at half-time. And they really put their foot down. You know, the old pump was to the floor. And they were back in the game at 2-2.
Right. And the 2 goals were pretty special as well. Let's see the first one.
Oh, I mean, you know, he did ever so well, Stuart Lovell here, you know. John de Wolf pulling him back, and he struck the ball so well, hard and low, and Michael Gilks will never score a simpler goal, you know, for the rest of his football career. But it's all down to Stuart Lovell. Nice touch, John de Wolf cuts across the defender, and then strikes the ball extremely well.
And other strikers like Lovell could actually have fallen over there and tried to get the penalty, couldn't he?
He was honest. He was honest as the day was long, yeah.
And the second one, which made it 4-2, of course, in the second half.
Well, Jimmy Quinn, for me, here, has got so much class. He goes to shoot and just knocks a nice little ball to Michael Gilks. Misses the first one, good save from the keeper, but gets the rebound. But when you look at it, it's all down to Jimmy Quinn. You know, once he receives the ball, here he is now. Look, he's going to go to his right. He doesn't, shapes up to shoot. Lovely touch. Michael Gilks just got the goalkeeper to beat, and he makes quite sure on the second one.
10 goals all season at Elm Park, and they scored 4 today. Brilliant stuff. Well, still to come, plenty more action from today's First Division games, plus a full rundown on yesterday's fixtures, including a cracking game at the Goldstone, Brighton against Swansea.
Dangerous ball in, and the keeper just tipping it over the bar.